What up, guys? I'm back. I haven't done a video in a little while. Apologies for that. I'm currently driving, so I've noticed a lot of YouTubers kind of do this. They kind of do these videos while they're driving, so I thought I'd give it a crack. Having to do a bit of a drive today, so um, yeah, hopefully the multitasking works to some degree. But yeah, it's going to be a bit of a rant. Um, but yeah, apologies for not doing that video. I kind of feel bad. Long story short, I've got a job and it's just taking up. I got a new job and it's just taking up so much time at the moment. And oh man, that scripture that Jesus talked about, the parable about the seed and the sower, and how if it lands on hard ground, the cares of the world. You know, I'll put it up I'll put it on the description or something. But yeah, that kind of happening to me, to be honest. So now I'm just trying to get back on it. But yeah, what I want to talk about today is we're actually seeing the collapse of society in real time at the moment, and it's kind of frightening how fast it's happening. And even normies, non-Christian people are even waking up to this as well. Like when I'm looking at TikTok, people are complaining about the price of rent, the price of food, just how the wages are keeping up with inflation, all these kind of things. And yeah, just put it into context. Like for me, as a single man with no kids, no wife, even I'm noticing the last couple of years is a lot more difficult to get ahead, a lot more difficult to save money. Um, I had some issues with my car not that long ago, and I just had to drop, a few $1,000s, and just bills like that just pop up all the time, and it constantly sets you back. So it's getting really frustrating, and I can see why everyone's stressed out of their mind, especially if you got kids at the moment. But yeah, I was talking to my friend the other day about this. It's like I'm I'm earning over double. Like on paper, I'm earning more money, but I literally feel less poor than I did back in 2015, 16 kind of era, And it's crazy. Like for me, like I'm pretty good with my money. Like I don't spend on frivolous things. Um, I'm pretty minimalistic. So the fact that life is starting to you're kind of noticing it with expenses and things. It's getting pretty crazy. And whenever you go to the supermarket, people are just stressed out of their minds. It's just, yeah, I hate going to the supermarket. You can just feel that kind of dense energy, and it's not a good feeling, And something is about to happen in the financial system. I don't know exactly how it's going to unfold, but if some of you guys are maybe aware of this, maybe not, but the crypto industry, they had like literally maybe a week ago since recording this, that we had the biggest liquidation event ever in crypto. So I think it was like 8.8 billion was just wiped out of the market overnight, and the exchanges went down. You couldn't buy and sell. Like all these manipulational markets things were going on, and it's just like this kind of started becoming more and more common, right? Like even if you're trying to be good with your money, you're trying to invest it, and you're trying to, you know, um, get ahead. It's just constantly being more and more difficult with the market makers, um, just constantly pumping things and dumping them and taking liquidity out of these things that you're investing in, and it's so manipulated, right? And it's hard not to get angry at how evil and corrupt this world is. So I saw this tweet on X where literally like hours before this crypto liquidation event, someone bet like a huge sum of money, like 50 million, to short the market. So shorting is you're betting against the market for it to go down, and and they did this literally minutes before Donald Trump tweeted about the tariff news, about he was going to put 100% tariff on the Chinese against China essentially, and that's kind of the cover story, right? That why the market went down because of tariffs. But in reality, is the exchanges wanted to, you know, they wanted to wipe out the leverage. They wanted to, this is my opinion. They wanted to wipe out all the leverage, and they wanted to give the opportunity for these big organizations to buy up all the assets really cheaply. So, BlackRock and Vanguard, all these guys are just buying up heaps of Bitcoin and Ethereum and everything else, while everyone was just losing their money. But it's interesting how obviously people on the inside, like maybe they were in, that they knew Donald Trump was about to tweet this news, so they literally shorted the market leading up to it, and they got out of their positions just as he posted it. So this particular person made like almost $300 million in a couple of days. Like, if that's not market manipulation, I don't know what is. And there's so many more examples of this in the stock market. The price of gold is soaring at the moment, which is very questionable. I don't know what's going to happen there exactly, but it's joking. Like, people in the crypto industry and stuff, they're all joking like it's crime season. Like, crime is now legal, and it's kind of what Donald Trump's done. Like, with he released his own coin, and the Trump family has openly come out and said they've made $1 billion from the crypto industry, while like like retail investors like me and stuff, like barely, like we're barely like getting the scraps at the moment, which is totally not the norm compared to like the previous cycle. So it's difficult to know like what to do with your money, to be honest. Like, we can see things are going crazy expensive, and inflation is getting more and more. So just park it in the bank is also not great, because the money is constantly being devalued every single year. But then when you put it into the market, it just it's like so manipulated. Unless you have inside information, that's the only way that's to seem to get to do well. And honestly, I'm getting sick of it. But look, I still, I haven't sold my port assets. I'm still holding, but I think for me, this is a sign of where society's at, and that the greed, like, people who already have multi-millions, billions of dollars, are still constantly trying to take money from the rest of the world, from everyone else. And for me, that's just a sign, like Jesus said in Matthew 24, like the love of many will wax cold. So they don't care. They don't care if you literally are paycheck to paycheck, and you've only got a few $1,000 either this. They'll wipe it all out. Like, if you're in America, those 404ks or whatever they're called, or in New Zealand we call them Kiwi say, they're coming for retirement next. Like this is just me. This is just my personal opinion, but I actually got all my retirement money out because which is it's a bit of a process to do, but I honestly believe that's the next stage. Is they're coming for the retirement money, and there's going to be no such thing as a pension when I'm older. I don't. I know. I'm not putting a date on it, but it's going to be highly unlikely that the world's going to last until I'm 65. Let's just be real. But that's just the signs I'm seeing. Of course, there's other things with people generally just being disrespectful and not caring about others and all those things. Um, yeah, but it's interesting. Like, it's people cannot sustain this too much longer until something's going to happen, right? And history already always repeats itself, right? So that scripture, there's nothing new under the sun. And I was watching um, this kind of his, this history Christian piece. I forgot his name. It was um, he essentially the emperor at the time, they increased the taxes so much where the common folk literally couldn't afford food, and all the Christians had to band together, and it was like a full reliance on God situation. And um, I fully believe that's kind of where we're heading, right? The only the government's not the solution; they're the problem, right? They're only going to constantly keep increasing the taxes. So, for example, in New Zealand, and it's all about control, right? So, for New Zealand, we for petrol, the tax is included in the petrol, right, which is already high. But what they're looking at doing now is they've got to look at, reducing the tax in the petrol, but then you have to pay via a mileage tax. So depending on how many kilometers or miles, if you're in America, that you drive is what you pay. So we already have that for diesel cars at the moment. So I've got a diesel car, so you're going to pay like a certain amount every thousand kilometers that you drive. So they're now doing that for all vehicles. So it's not, um, they try and use the old marketing terms to phrase it however they want. But let's just be honest, it's to do with control and generating more money, isn't it? Right. So for people who drive a lot, like for me, I drive quite a lot, driving to work and things like that. That's probably not going to help me long long run, isn't it? So there's lots of things like that happening. So we're starting to see the freedoms being stripped away from us slowly, right? And being just more and more difficult to get ahead. And the fact, buying a house is very, very difficult, especially for someone like me who's a single person on like one salary. I'm in New Zealand's one of the most expensive places for property in the world. It's probably not as bad as like New York and those kind of places, but it's pretty crazy for what you get here. So I'm in Auckland, and an average two-bedroom townhouse would be something like 850,000 New Zealand dollars or something, and that's not even in the prime locations. So yeah, I mean, sure, I could save up a deposit and get like a huge mortgage, but then you're literally, we call it house poor. You've got an asset, but you literally got no cash. Like all your cash flow goes to a house, and I really do not like that feeling, like of just not being able to move, not being adaptable. Like I want to get out of the big cities as soon as I possibly can, but for whatever reason, right now, God's put me here to, um, and I'm just doing it, just trying to save up as much money as I can, invest it wisely, and yeah, I just like being liquid. I like having that flexibility, but I mean, people with mortgages are really struggling at the moment, and they feel that um, they can't do anything. They can't move cities. They can't, because if they literally put their house on the market right now, they would they would lose money because the price they bought it at a few years ago during COVID time was like at its peak. So they'd probably sell it for like 100, 200 grand less than what they bought it for. So it's a crazy game, this world. And I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I'm just over it. I'm over having to pay bills. Paying to live is like the most ridiculous concept ever. Like if you're truly awake and you know what money is just printed out of thin air from a Federal Reserve, which is a private organisation, it's not even owned or run by the government. And it's hard to not to get angry about it, to be honest. And and the fact that there's these few elite families in the world who control the money is wild. Um, like I've heard of these stories of these like high level Freemasons and stuff where they literally have a credit card which is like unlimited. You know, there's they can spend whatever. Like, there's no limits. They don't even have to pay it back. Like imagine living life on easy mode like that. Imagine like no wonder they just have this crazy. I know, like the world's their playground, right? And that scripture where it talks about like Satan is the ruler of this world is so true. You know, like if you are on his side, he will give you the pleasures of this world. Like, but yeah, how I see it is difficult times makes us as Christians lean more into God. Like that's what we really need to be doing, and that's what I just keep thinking about at the moment. And just how like we shouldn't want to be on this earth, to be honest. Like if you're still like really, I don't know, like yeah, if you're just literally in love with the world still, and you're still um, can't bear the thought of being in heaven with Jesus, like I think that is a problem. And I'm not saying I'm perfect with that. Sometimes I do struggle, like, oh, I'm not ready yet. I still need to do this and this. But man, just even the thought of being in heaven and not having to work a job that you hate and pay taxes and pay for food, it's like that alone is like sign me up. You know what I mean? Sign me up. Because oh man, I was so over it. You know, like it's gonna be great. Like we're gonna have no pain, no death, like free, brand new bodies. We just live off the land, have our own homes. There's not going to be any mortgage or any of that BS. And yeah, I mean, it's so good to be. Um, it's unfathomable, right? Like that scripture says, like I'm paraphrasing here, right? I can't remember where it is exactly, but it's like no man has seen or behold what's in store for us in heaven, essentially. And it's so true. I mean, like we have ideas, but I think nothing can comprehend what's what's in store for us, you know. And even just talking about it now gets me excited, right? And the fact that we're about to go to other worlds and we're about to see all our loved ones and we're about to meet, um, people from the Bible like Moses and Noah and all these people. We actually about to talk to them like face to face about what it was like to go through these like events, Um, so yeah, every question that we'll ever want answered will be answered, right? So it's going to be interesting times. So I just want to encourage you because I know it's something that I'm struggling with because I'm stuck in a job that I'm not necessarily, I'm grateful to have it. I know lots of people are struggling to find work at the moment, and I definitely was like that, earlier this year. And yeah, but I mean, it's this world's only temporary, guys. So don't get too um, try not get too what's the word I'm looking for too down and out about it. Just fix your eyes on Jesus, get into your word, try and fellowship with like-minded believers if you can, because I think now's the time that we really need to draw close to one another and support each other, pray for each other. Because I think, if you are awake during this time and um, it's we're the very few, we're the minority, right? So, and we can get quite what's the word, inclusive or whatever, where I don't know if that's the word, but we can kind of draw back from the world and we isolate ourselves a little bit too much, and that can happen for me quite a bit sometimes. If I'm just feeling fed up with the world, I'll kind of I'll probably be by myself a bit too much, and then Satan can use that against you, right? If you're isolating yourself too much. But just make sure if you are spending time alone that you're not, yeah, just not um, being stuck in idle time, I guess, and use it to your advantage. Because yeah, Satan will use every opportunity to distract you and take you away from your purpose, right? Yeah, I think that's. Um, I'm trying to think when my bloody turn off is, I think I'll leave it with there, guys. But I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments, if what you guys think. These are just thoughts and things I've been struggling with lately. But yeah, I'm overworking for a job that I don't necessarily passionate about. Um, I'm really praying that God opens up, um, a different opportunity for me in due time. But for now, it's a bit of a waiting game at this stage. Um, but yeah, if you're new to this channel, if you like this content, I really appreciate it if you like and subscribe. It really encourages me to do more of them. And yeah, I really will start to be consistent with this channel, and not let work and things keep distracting me, because I think that's the problem is um, things pop up and I keep putting it on the back burner, and I'll do it next week. I'll do it next week, and I don't. So yeah, even if it's just doing a video out this and just yarning about um, things that I'm going through, because I'm sure other people will be relating about this. So, all right, guys, I'll love you and leave you. God bless. I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.